This has officially become a trilogy. It's geeking time. Well, hello everybody, and thank you so much for coming back to my channel. You know me, I love retro stuff, I love nostalgia, I love anime, I love superheroes, I love old 80s and 90s cartoons, comic books, manga. Part of those things I love, when I mention anime and manga, I love Gundam. Well, today, I guess this has turned into a trilogy, like I said. We've taken a look at the original Gundam. We've taken a look at the Gundam Seed Gundam Astray Gundam. Today, we have the XXX, ooh, naughty, G-01W Wing Gundam from Gundam Wing. My second favorite Gundam series of all time, right after Gundam Seed / Destiny. We are in the 90s, apparently. I've got my Diamond Dallas Page t-shirt on. I've got my Nintendo toque on. This was a show that came out in, I think, the mid-90s, around 1996. And I did not actually watch this show until, oh man, I think maybe 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I watched Gundam Wing for the first time. I was such a big fan of Gundam Seed / Destiny. I also loved Gundam Unicorn. That was a really good one if you've never seen Gundam Unicorn. Iron-Blooded Orphans, amazing as well. But then somebody told me, watch Gundam Wing. If you love Gundam Seed and Gundam Unicorn, watch Gundam Wing. It is truly an amazing series. And they also told me, especially if you love mecha. I mean, I've always loved mecha. I love mecha is probably one of my favorite animes because I also love Ghost in the Shell. And I love science fiction, so that's probably the reason why Akira is probably one of my favorite movies of all time. But yes, lo and behold, when I was introduced to Gundam Wing, I lost my shit, and I consider it to be one of the greatest of all time. I even added Gundam Wing, I think it's called, Endless Duel is the movie, the fighting video game on the Nintendo, Super Nintendo Mini. I actually want to do a video gameplay of that. That's going to be a lot of fun. There's a lot of games I have on there that I'd like to do gameplay footage of. But today, we are going to take a look at the Gundam Wing, the Wing Gundam, I should say, sorry. Which I found at the Dollarama, just like I did with the other two Gundams. Let's go down to the blue backdrop where it's my hands only. Let's get him out of the packaging. Let's compare him to the other Gundams. Let's review him, and let's digest it all. Come on, guys, let's go. Okay, here we are in the little backdrop, and we've got our Gundam, our Wing Gundam. I keep calling him Gundam Wing, but we got our Wing Gundam on the rotating platform, so we can take a good look at the package all around, even though I probably showed it to you guys when I was full face on camera. We're just with the hands now down here. So that's a pretty cool line. I believe this figure comes from the same line. This is a Gundam Infinity Series Gundam, but this comes from the same line as the a regular Gundam that we had a look at, the RX-78-2 Gundam, as well as the Astray Gundam. So they're all from this line, where you can go ahead and build the Zaku. I don't know what's going on. My Dollarama that I got, that I found these at, or at least every Dollarama, they're just getting a random bunch of these because there's 3 consecutive ones in the line, and now there's 2 other ones that are from a different line. So if I really want to build that Zaku, I really cannot. But you know what would be really cool? If I could find all the pieces of the Zaku to build it and to, review it for you guys. But that being said, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, we're going to take this guy out of the packaging, like I said. I will also scale him next to the 2 other Gundams that we've had to look at before. So here we are. This is the final video in the trilogy. Unless I find more Gundams, which I probably won't go after anymore because these are the 3 Gundams I love the most. But this is the final Gundam in the trilogy of Gundams. I'm so sad we are coming to an end. We'll take a look. We'll get him out of the packaging. We will put him next to the other Gundams and see what he has to offer. The Wing Gundam is off the spinning platform because, besides being trapped inside a package and he's trying to breathe, He also was getting a little bit dizzy being on this rotating platform, even though, you know what, he's a mecha and he flies in space and he goes into battle. So why would the Gundam get dizzy and not be able to breathe when he's able to go in space and fight battles? Who knows? Who knows? That's just me being silly. One of the cool things about this is that, like I said, this came out in the 90s. And I really do wish that I could have had the opportunity to watch Gundam Wing as a child in the 90s, but in hindsight, you know what though? In hindsight, it's a good thing I watched it as an adult, because I feel like as a kid, I would have probably thought, oh, this is really cool. However, as an adult, it makes more sense because I feel you have more of an appreciation of this as an adult, and you understand it better too. I find that Gundam have these very... What am I doing here? Just bear with me, guys. Sorry about that. Okay, let's put this on the backdrop right there. Wants to stand up. There we go. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I think that I can appreciate Gundam more as an adult, especially Gundam Wing, because this series, especially Gundam Wing, Gundam Seed as well, I mean any Gundam, same thing for a lot of anime you watch, have very complex storylines. And as a kid, it's kind of cool to watch all the action scenes and stuff like that, but you probably wouldn't fully grasp or understand quite the story. So as an adult, it's really like you can appreciate the story and understand it more. Ghost in the Shell was one of those things I didn't watch until I was an adult. And I really feel that, yes, okay, that's probably one of those things that I should not have watched as a kid, which I didn't. But even if I did watch as a kid, and let's say my parents didn't care and they're like, oh, we're just going to get this for him to watch, I'd probably not understand what was going on in that movie. At least as an adult, I still don't understand, but I understand a little more. Same thing with Akira. That's why I think Akira is such a great film, is that you can keep revisiting that film and watch it over and over again. Which reminds me, my wife wants to rewatch Akira with me. So I think my next movie night's going to be Akira. Doing anime stuff, I'm in the mood for anime. You know what's another one that I feel like you would think is labeled for kids, but is really not, and it's really dark? I actually started watching Hunter x Hunter with my wife, and holy shit, what an amazing anime that is. That is really not for kids, even though on the surface, the characters look like they could be kid-friendly. My gosh, the longer and the deeper you go into that show, that anime, the more and more you see that being an intricate storyline that you really have to understand what's going on to fully appreciate that. If you guys have never seen Hunter x Hunter, as I'm reviewing a Gundam, I highly recommend watching Hunter x Hunter. I was super against watching it at first, because like, nah, this thing looks too childish. But my gosh, was I wrong? One Piece, however, I will still not watch One Piece. All right, enough blabbing. Let's get him stood up. Stood up. We don't want to stand up or... we don't want to have him stood up, you know? No, he's here to have fun. All right, let's get him in place. There we go. Let's put all the pieces there. And all right, let's take a quick break. Once we come back from the break, we'll reference him with the other Gundams we've had a look at in the past, and then we'll go ahead and take a look at the Wing Gundam. We'll take a look, we'll review him and see what he's got to offer. Stick around. We'll be right back.
It's a dead end, pal.
Gundam Wing will return in a moment.
Earth is in trouble.
Enemy attack! Enemy attack!
We need the Gundams.
It's here.
All new Gundam Wing action figure model kits.
That's a mobile suit!
Build your own Gundam mobile suit.
A Gundam!
Snap together multicolor pieces. No glue required. Extreme articulation. Pick your favorite or collect them all.
Gundams are on Earth.
Roger that.
Gundam Wing action figure model kits. Only from Bandai.
Those who have laid eyes on a Gundam shall not live to tell about it.
Gundam Wing now continues.
Welcome back. So our Wing Gundam has some friends along for the ride. We've got the Astray Gundam and we got the RX Gundam. So here they are next to each other. Let's just, first things foremost, let's take a look and see how tall each one is compared to each other. So the RX Gundam is just a little over 5 inches. Our Astray Gundam is a little under 5 inches. Wow, okay. And now the Wing is even shorter at just a little over 4 inches. That does not make sense to me. I mean, you would think that they were probably all the same, unless, am I doing this wrong? Am I taking a look at them wrong? Let me see the RX Gundam again. Ah, yeah, there we go. He's just, yeah, he's about 4.5 inches. Let's see. Okay, so the Astray is just a little under 4.5. And yeah, okay, the wing is 4 inches. So they're all different scales. Well, I thought that they would all be the same pretty much height, but I guess it makes sense to scale them properly to each other. And we've all seen the weapons that they've come with in the past, with the lightsaber. Each come with a gun and the sword for the Astray Gundam, which the other sword he came with, my beef before that was that thing should have had the removable bottom part to stick it in his hand. To this day, I cannot, for the life of me, remove it. So basically, I display him with the sword in the sheath, and then the other sword that he came with just stays on the base that he's displayed with. But nonetheless, these are all cool-looking Gundams, and they can stand next to each other really well. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead now, we'll clear these guys out, we'll remove them. Before we take a look at our Gundam, our Wing Gundam, we'll go ahead and look at the accessories, and then we'll take a look at the Gundam himself. Got his fellow Gundams out of the way. You know what? Actually, let's remove this because, I don't know, you're kind of like seeing double, I guess, of the Gundam. Should we keep? Yeah, let's just take that away. I don't know. That doesn't really serve any purpose to our little Gundam here. Let me just bring the camera a little more closer to him. Okay, there we go. So before we take a look at the articulation and the detailing on him, first things first, we have the Build-A-Figure pieces, which are the Zaku legs. Just the green and black. So I'm amassing myself a collection of these Zaku parts, which I really don't think I'm going to be able to complete it. We have the seminal gun that all of our Gundams come with. Detailed, but just cast in gray plastic. So yeah, it leaves a lot to be desired, that's for sure. And along with that, we also have the green, I like to call it a lightsaber, which I know it's not a lightsaber, but their green glowing sword. That was at that. And of course, we've got the shield as well that's going to peg into his arm just like everybody else. We'll take a look at that in quite a moment. Well, he looks pretty cool. I'm not going to lie to you. I actually think that out of all three, well, the original RX Gundam is my favorite, obviously, but I think this comes in a close second. He looks great, and he doesn't feel flimsy. So, articulation. His head rotates around. Yep. And what I love, does it rotate all around? Yeah, there you go. Rotates all around. His head is on a ball joint, which is awesome. So you can have him looking up, looking down, sideways, which is great. And then his arms, they don't go all the way around because his wing here. Actually, you know what? Oh, wait a minute. There we go. Arm goes all the way around. The shoulder piece moves up and down, which is great. The elbows move up and down. And then the hands turn around. Come on. Come on. Being stiff. Being a little stiff. Turn all the way around. He's got torso rotation. The legs slightly move back and forth. And then in and out. And the knee is on a 5 jointed. Okay. That's cool. And then the foot moves back and forth and is kind of like not on a rocker, but you can move it a little bit around. Cool looking figure. And then again, the wings on the back, you can move them side to like sideways, you know, in and out is what I'm trying to get out, kind of like a butterfly. Take a look at the detailing, the head detailing. The sculpt is very nice on this little tiny figure. My camera is not picking it up. There we go. Nice looking sculpt on the figure. And then you've got the body, which looks great as well. There's a little bit of a lacking of the paint right here. It's just too white. But you know what? Hey, if you paint, maybe you can apply some paint that it'll make it look a bit better. Maybe some shading and stuff. Cell shading if you're into that. And then the feet look good as well. The shoulder pads look great. The arms look fantastic. But again, minimal paint. So these are little mini figures that are made, you know, just for the affordable market. So me, I'm not complaining. And even at the back, unlike those Megazords who had barely any paint on the back, he doesn't have very much paint in the back, but at least there's some back here. So it looks good. So you can have him in the pose. You can have him like this if you want to make him fly. You can have him fly like this. So yeah, the figure itself looks pretty damn awesome. As for the accessories with our Wing Gundam, you can peg this in on any side of him if you want. So you can peg it in right there. Or you can take it off. Come on, there we go. Whoop, he's falling. Don't need to transition. Or then you can peg it in on this arm as well. Like that. You can have his shield on him like that, making him look pretty cool. So I believe that is the side that I'm going to keep it on because that's where it goes. And then you can just go ahead and take the gun and you can pop the gun into his hand just like that. Perfect fit. So you can have him standing with the gun. You can have him standing with the gun in his arm. You can have the wings out. You can have the wings in. You can have one wing out, one wing in. And then, if you don't want to keep the gun in his hand, at that point, you can also remove the gun. And then you can put the sword in his hand. So, our Gundam can be in battle fighting with the sword instead of the gun, which gives for a really cool look as well. But me personally, I've got my RX Gundam with the sword already. And then I have the other Gundam, I've got the other Gundam displayed with his gun. So I think I might just actually put him on display with the gun. That'll make him, I think that might look really freaking cool. Maybe I'll play around with the wings, see how I like this. But all in all, this is an incredible looking little figure. I love the look of this guy. He is so good looking. I mean, just look at that. That is an awesome looking Gundam. I can go to the GameStop or I can go to Chinatown and try to find a Gundam model kit. It might cost quite a bit, but at the end of the day, this is a cool looking little figure that is very uncostly. $3 is really not going to break your bank. And I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to go out of my way to get any more of these Gundams because I got 3 of them that I absolutely love. But hey, if I see another Gundam at some point in my life, I'm saying in my life here, guys, that's at the Dollarama from this set, then you know what? I might pick him up. Will I review it? Who knows? But I love Gundam. This is my favorite anime. Probably my favorite mecha anime, I should say, of all time. All right, there we go. That is the Wing Gundam fully reviewed, fully checked out with the articulation, scaled side by side by his Gundam brethren. What a cool looking figure. I did say before that I think that the original RX Gundam is probably my favorite. You know what? Now that I'm thinking about it more, now that I'm looking at him more and I'm got him spinning around and rotating, I actually think that this might be my favorite of the 3. The RX comes in a close second, Astray is third, but again, those are the 3 that I want for my collection because I love them the most. There is one Gundam that I've always wanted, or at least 2 Gundams that I've always wanted. That comes from Gundam Seed, which is the Justice Gundam piloted by Kira, and then the Aegis Gundam piloted by Athrin Zala. I've always wanted those 2 Gundams so bad. Oh, man. But anyways, this was so cool to find these. At least I found a Gundam Seed at my Dollarama. But Gundam Wing is probably one of my absolute favorite animes ever created. Seeing it as an adult made me so happy to oh my God. But what do you guys think? Would you grab this? Would you apply the paint? I know that there's people that paint miniatures, so maybe this could be something fun for you to paint for little miniatures. I'm not going to apply paint. I don't know how to paint. Maybe that's something I should look into. But yeah, the Gundam stands really well. The articulation does not feel loose. It feels nice. The RX Gundam, that was my only complaint. I think after doing the review, everything was all packed up and said and done. I was like, yeah, he's kind of loose a little bit, but he still stands pretty well. He's not flimsy or he doesn't flop around at least. But this guy will stand properly. Looks good. And even with the minimal painting, honestly, this catches your eye. So if you don't want to add any paint to him, you don't need to. If you want to add paint, it's just going to add to the coolness factor of this character. That being said, I do plan on doing some gameplay videos this year. I had a mishap last year where I wanted to do some, but some things happened and I had a mishap and I couldn't do some gameplay footage. Well, that's all changed. I'll be doing that this year. And I have that Japanese Gundam Wing video game, which is a fighting game on the Super Nintendo, which I absolutely adore. Same thing with the Godzilla Kaiju Daikessen, I think it's called, for the Super Nintendo. That's another fighting game with Godzilla. So I plan on doing gameplay of both those. But if you're interested in seeing the Gundam fighting game gameplay, let me know down below if that would be something that interests you. Say at the same time, let me know down below what you thought of this Gundam. What have you thought of the other Gundams that we've had a look at in a certain line? I am so very sad. This is the end of the trilogy. At least for now, this is the end. I don't know if I'll be picking up any more Gundams anytime soon or in the near future. So it's a nice way to end this on a little trilogy. There we go. That's it for today. This was a really cool figure. I really like this thing a lot. I love Gundam in general. And you know what? Okay, they're probably starting to slow down on Steam at the Dollarama for these Gundams, but honestly, for a $3 price tag for these Gundams, when most of the Gundam collectibles are really higher up in the price frame, this is a good price point for Gundam, especially if you don't have any Gundams in your collection like I never did, and you're trying to get stuff in your collection. Well, these little $3 Gundams at the Dollarama are a perfect way for you to get Gundams in your collection at a very cheap price. With that being said, have you scoped out your Dollaramas for any of these Gundams? I think there's also a Barbados Gundam, and there's another one there too. I like to, I'm not going to collect them all. I only grab the Wing Gundam because, like I said, that's one of my all-time favorite anime series in general. So in that case, that's why I picked up this guy here. But yeah, I was really excited to do this video today because, like I said, oh man, Gundam is one of my absolute favorite animes of all time. And you know what's crazy? I really do consider Gundam to be very and highly underrated. People are probably going to disagree with me on that, but I used to have a bunch of DVDs back in the day of Gundam Seed/Destiny, and I've always wanted to collect the complete series of Gundam Wing. Maybe one day I'll be able to find that. All right, I'll let you guys get out of here. Enough anime talk for the day, enough mecha talk for the day. Are you guys fans of Gundam? Let me know down below. Let's talk all things Gundam down below. And thank you so much for sticking around and watching the video in its entirety. If you are new to my channel, if you just stumbled across here because you're like, Gundams, I love anime, please and thank you, subscribe to my channel. Click that bell as well to be notified whenever I got some brand new content out. And if you did like this unboxing and review, hit that thumbs up button. And like I just said, comment down below. Let's talk all things Gundam and anime related. Thank you so much for being a friend of the channel. Thank you so much for supporting me and continuously subscribing and seeing my channel grow. I could not be doing this without any of you guys. You guys are my biggest supporters. Even my wife, she supports my channel on a daily basis too. Gotta give a shout out to my wife as well, who's always the first to put a thumbs up on my video. Gotta support your spouse. But that's it for me. I'll be back again soon with some more content. Stay cool, stay nerdy, keep hunting, keep collecting, keep building, watching, and playing all things Gundam. I'll see you guys again soon. And as always, it's cool if it's nerd cool. Laters!